Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh. I sell used books, CDs, and DVDs online on platforms like eBay, Amazon, and some others that we're going to talk about today. That is what I do full-time to support my family. Today, what we're doing is we're looking at 3 different boxes. 1, 2, third one's off camera. You can't see them. And I got them upside down, so you can't see the shipping labels. But what we're going to be doing is looking at these, looking at the profit from each of the boxes for these 3 different ways of selling. Today, the 3 ways we're going to look at are ways that automatically get the books out of my life, out of my garage, and get me the money the fastest. So what 3 ways we're looking at today is number 1, Amazon FBA, huge part of my business. That is box number 1 we got going on here. Way number 2 we're going to be looking at, and 3 are more selling these to sell back companies. We're going to be looking at 2 different sell back companies today. We're going to be looking at Thriftbooks, who has a newer sell back program. I'm not sure exactly how old it is, but it's not near as old as many of the other programs that I've used in the past. And third, we're going to look at the old faithful sell back your book, also now known as World of Books, one of the oldest buyback companies out there as far as like buying books from other booksellers or just people that are wanting to get rid of books and get some cash. So we're going to be looking at those 3 ways today, talking about the pros and cons of each of them, how much money we're making from each of these 3 boxes here, 1, 2, and 3. And yeah, some pros and cons of each of those. So let's dig into it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to the computer and sell some books to World of Books and Thriftbooks. So let's go. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to work on building our box for the buyback companies. We're looking today at World of Books and we're looking at Thriftbooks and World of Books, also known as Sell Back Your Book. Having the 2 names, absolutely confusing. But anyways, most people know them as Sell Back Your Book. They've recently changed their name to World Books. What we're doing is we're going to be checking Thriftbooks first, because in my experience from sending in like hundreds and hundreds of books to both of these companies, Thriftbooks 99.9% of the time pays more than Sell Back Your Book. However, Sell Back Your Book typically accepts more books. So I got my barcode scanner. That's how I like to do these sellback companies. I like to do them on the desktop computer. All these sellback companies have mobile apps, including Thriftbooks and World of Books. And it's really great if you don't have a barcode scanner to just use the app, scan it on your phone, add it to your cart right there. Bada bing, bada boom, you're done. However, when I'm checking multiples like I am today with this Jesus Calling book, which Thriftbooks is not accepting. Let's check World of Books, see if they are accepting it. They are not accepting it. So we're going to throw it to the side. Man, we'll just throw them down there for now. So what we're going to be doing is switching back and forth between these, checking to see who is accepting what. I've also got my mouse over here set up to basically switch tabs just by pressing a button. World of Books accepted this book. 28 cents they're going to give me for this textbook. Alright, so World of Books here, Thriftbooks here. I'm going to try not to throw them into the wrong stacks. But anyways, my mouse is going to switch from tab to tab for me just by clicking a button to save me some time here. And we're just going to go through these. 28 cents also World of Books. World of Books currently leading the charge. $1.01 for Thriftbooks. Just for clarity here for everybody, we're going to check Sell Back Your Book, see what they would pay. They would pay 28 cents also for this book. Interesting thing here. So we actually made like an extra, what is that? Almost 75 cents already. I know it does not seem like much, but it adds up quickly. Now this one does not have a barcode, unfortunately, so we are going to have to type this in. 0600345505, and we are going to see if any of them accept it. Thriftbooks, no. World of Books, yes they did. 28 cents. Once again, very interesting. But anyways, this is what I'm going to be doing. Now you might be asking, Josh, why are you checking these books instead of like some other books? Do you check every single book that you come across? And the answer to that is no. I use an app called Scoutly. What Scoutly does is it will tell me if buyback companies are accepting these types of books or not. Now, The problem with Scoutly is it does not have the information from Thriftbooks. Thriftbooks does not have like an API where they share their information because they want to protect that information. I totally get that. However, if other buyback companies are accepting the book, there's a very good chance that Thriftbooks will be accepting it. So these are just books that are accepted by some buyback companies in general, and I'm checking them for Thriftbooks. This book, for example, Thriftbooks is going to pay me $1.90. Sell Back Your Book doesn't even accept it. Pretty rare that Thriftbooks accepts one, that Sell Back Your Book does not. That's interesting to see. I don't think either of these guys are going to take this one. We will check real quick. The last lectures, nope, nobody wants it. Super duper common book. Kind of surprised to see that one end up in that pile there. Math Fables, anybody want it? Nope, nobody wants it. So far, just kind of give you guys a quick rundown. We have had how many books? Ooh, let me clear the ineligible items. I have had 2 books accepted by Thriftbooks. They are paying me $2.91. Sell Back Your Book has accepted so far 4 books, but they're only paying me $1.12. So I'm going to go through these all, get these 2 boxes filled up. And you'll see, like, even though Thriftbooks is not taking near as much right now, I'm almost at $3. I'm barely over $1 on Sell Back Your Book. So I'm going to get these all scanned, get these 2 boxes filled up, and then we will go from there and see where we are at, see who is accepting what they are paying, all that great stuff. Nobody wants that book. Yeah, so I'll give you guys an update, just a couple minutes. All right, so Thriftbooks, that box is absolutely full. Sell Back Your Book, World of Books. Unfortunately, that one's way emptier than I'd like it to be. But let me just show you guys where we're at real quick. Sell Back Your Book. They accepted, let's count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 items, including some CDs that I pulled off the shelf I had sitting over here for them. I think one Blu-ray. They're paying $4.31. That's not even enough to complete my trade-in. I needed $7.50. Usually I'm able to complete a trade-in when I sit down to do this, but today I was not, unfortunately. Big part of that is because Thriftbooks they accepted quite a bit today. They accepted 26 total items. Let me clear these ineligible ones real quick. No, they accepted 25 total items. One of them there was a duplicate of that I had 2 of, this pain-free, at a quantity of 2. You can actually like update the quantity on these, send them more than 1. So that is really neat. And if you just update the quantity, they'll update for 4 of them. They'll pay me $2.52 instead of at 1. They pay me 63 cents. So gives you an idea. You can update that all. There is a 40-pound shipping limit with Thriftbooks. You send them 1 box at a time. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and accept this offer. I cannot accept my World of Books offer because it's below $7.50. So we're going to set that box aside for another day. I'm going to blur out all this information, agree to the terms, finalize the payback. And yeah, let's go wrap up this video in just a second. All right, we are back now. We are all done. I need my piece of paper. Hang on. So, 3 boxes are all done. First up, I got the Amazon box done. I actually did that before the other 2 boxes. The reason I did it first was because it takes a little bit longer for like Amazon to process things on the back end with the listing software that I use, which is GoToLister, by the way. But anyways, let's go over box 1, FBA. 41 items that we sold. Sales price is going to be $638.02 approximately. That number is probably going to go down because prices of things on Amazon just seem to constantly be falling, especially used items. But if it sells at that price after Amazon fees and all that great stuff, we should net $280.16. That does include $41 for our buy cost. The FBA books are the only books that I actually bought those individually, and I was actually trying to spend money on them. The books that we are sending to World of Books and not World of Books, sending to Thriftbooks and Sell Back Your Book, those, they didn't cost me any extra money. That's kind of the nice thing about them is Thriftbooks and Sell Back Your Book is a way for me to get money out of books that I normally could not get money out of very easily. I could potentially have a book sale or take them to a used bookstore or something like that. But by boxing them up in these boxes, getting them out of the door today, like they are out of my life right away and money is in my pocket as soon as these will be checked in. Okay. Also, I do have to pay $25 to ship this box to Amazon. That includes shipping and placement fees. So it's gonna be like 25 bucks to basically get it there. It is going to be shipped with UPS. I drop all my UPS packages off at a UPS store, which is probably about 5 miles away. I will have to drive there to drop that off. You can schedule UPS pickups for about $6 per pickup, and that's an option that people have. Next, let's talk about box number 2. That is the Thriftbooks box. Thriftbooks, there's 25 items in this box, so not as many items in the FBA box. Almost, not quite half, but less items. They are paying me $33.08 for everything in this Thriftbooks box. It's pretty good. It's a little over $1 an item. Now, these items we did not pay anything for. This is automatic money. As soon as it's checked there, they're going to double check the condition of it, which out of all the buyback companies I've sold to over the years, which I've probably sold to like 6 or 7 different buyback companies, they are probably the least stringent that I have seen on people on basically doing deductions for condition. Deductions for condition is going to happen with any of these buyback companies, but with Thriftbooks, it seems to happen less than with other places. Books Run, like all the time, they are downgrading the condition of my books. World of Books, Sell Back Your Book, they do it from time to time, but Thriftbooks, it doesn't happen too often, but you know, every couple of batches, I do seem to have one deduction where an item is downgraded just a little bit, but typically they're still paying me for the item, which is really nice. Now, their shipping label is USPS, which is media mail, which is huge for me. USPS is picking up at my door every single day. You can schedule pickups free for USPS through like their website, the USPS website. And like that is huge for me. Like being able to just have it picked up from the door and paid out as soon as these things are checked in. Love shipping at media mail. There is a 40-pound limit on the box for Thriftbooks, whereas the limit for the box for FBA is like 50 pounds, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 50-pound limit for my FBA box. Third box, let's talk about Sell Back Your Book. I did not get enough books in this box for them to pay me. We got 14 items, which came out to $4.31. The price that they are paying per item is fairly low. I even threw some CDs I had laying around in there trying to get up to $7.50, which is their minimum for a box. Did not get there. So we're actually going to have this box sitting around for probably another week until I have enough books to do this whole thing again. But yeah, Sell Back Your Book. We're going to hang on to those for one more week. Then we'll be able to send it off, get, you know, $8, $9, $10, whatever it is, once we add some extra books to that. Their box will go FedEx typically. I think always theirs goes FedEx, if I remember correctly, actually. FedEx, I drop off at Walgreens, which is about 5.5 miles away, a little bit farther than the UPS store. So we will be dropping that off at a Walgreens. So just kind of some differences here in what we're making. Thriftbooks, over $1 per item. Sell Back Your Book, we're looking 14 items, $4.31. What is that, around a quarter an item or something like that? FBA stuff, you know, $280 for 41 items. That price is probably going to drop some. It wouldn't surprise me if that was closer to like $250 for that whole box. But all 3 of these boxes are going to be out of my hair today, which is why I love working with all 3 of these companies, Amazon, Thriftbooks, and Sell Back Your Book. I got to Sell Back Your Book. I got to hang out for one more week. Then they'll be out of my hair. But this has been kind of my review of these 3. Let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.